All right, Dr. Japhet Olugbogi is a public health physician and member, Association of Public Health Physicians of Nigeria. He's also the chairman, COVID-19 Committee for Nigerian Medical Association. Good morning. Thank you for joining us on the program.
Good morning.
Pandemic. I mean, I saw that and, well, we saw it coming pretty much, but it appeared as though the WHO was, was waiting to see how things unfold. But then the term pandemic, what's in the term? Is it just a tag or what does it mean to this approach to COVID-19?
Well, a pandemic just simply means that the disease has affected multiple continents, many people in multiple continents, and then it's now global.
So what does that do to our approach? I'm talking about Nigeria now.
Yeah, well, before we talk about Nigeria, WHO was a little reluctant to declare it a pandemic because of the panic and fear that comes with the word itself. Because if you remember the bubonic plague, and smallpox and other pandemics have happened before now, there was a lot of chaos, a lot of fear, a lot of panic. So they were a little reluctant to declare it a pandemic. But now it's affected over 100 countries in the world and over 120,000 cases. They now come out to say that, okay, every country in the world must put up at their houses in order and put all hands on deck to contain this pandemic.
So how then does that approach change our approach or affect our approach to how we've been dealing with it?
Well, Nigeria was well prepared for it. Lagos State government in particular was very well prepared for it. Mr. Governor was very much aware, and the Honorable Commissioner for Health, they were very much aware that the virus would definitely come because Lagos as a cosmopolitan state, we know how it is, and they have put a lot of things in place, manpower, financial, every type of resource you can think of, they put it in place. I'm also aware that Mr. Governor made a lot of stakeholders, community advocacy and all that. He also committed a lot of resources to put in place an infectious disease isolation center at the mainland General Hospital. The Honorable Commissioner for Health as well, Professor Abayomi, also has made a lot of press briefings, a lot of media appearances to sensitize, to teach, to motivate, to also mobilize health workers to contain this virus. Our approach was that we were ready, but now it calls for an intersectoral collaboration. It involves everybody. What we are doing here, what you are doing here, is also one of the approaches that need to contain this virus.
What's your role as chairman of the COVID-19 committee of the NMA?
Yeah, as the chairman of COVID-19 for the NMA, I was sent to participate in the Emergency Operations Center that was put together by the state government and the federal government, ably led by NCDC, the Nigerian Center for Disease Control. As we speak, they meet every day. Some people have lost sleep, some people are working around the clock to make sure that there are things that are put in place. The Emergency Operations Center contains experts from different fields of public health and medicine and research and all that. We have members from African Union, African CDC, from AFNED, from NCDC, from WHO, from UNICEF, from NMA Lagos, even APHPN, Medical Guild, and the hierarchy, the entire hierarchy of the Lagos State Ministry of Health also involved, the PSEs of the three MDAs in the Ministry of Health, Primary Healthcare Board, the medical officers of health, the disease notification officers, down to the root to the primary healthcare levels of the local governments. Everybody is involved, and they have different thematic areas. And there are people who are the point of entry in the airport. There are people who are carrying out social media awareness and then communicating risk prevention.
You just mentioned something that was playing on my mind as you were speaking, talking about how this has percolated or is percolating down the stairs, so to speak. On the one hand, are all the preparations that various sectors have made. On the other hand, is stemming the tide of panic and fake news. How are you taking this on board? How do you communicate all of the wonderful information and preparedness of government to the people to stem panic?
Yeah, there's a protocol. We agree that information will be disseminated via the handle of Mr. Governor at Jide Sanwo-Olu on Twitter, also Professor Akin Abayomi on Twitter as well, and then the LSMOH Twitter handle, as well as the NCDC Twitter handle. If you hear any information from elsewhere, you need to confirm from those 4 handles that the information is authentic. So any information they want to pass out, they pass through.
You are talking about Twitter. For those who are aware or who have that information,
Yes,
who
right.
have access. How about those who don't?
We're also doing a lot of social media appearances. For instance, I was built to come here to talk to Nigerians about this COVID-19. Also, I have colleagues who right now, as we speak, are in different media houses, radio, TV stations, even newspaper and all that. Also, we meet market women, NYSC camp. I was at the NYSC camp a couple of days ago. We're going there very early tomorrow morning again to speak with them. So we go through all different types of channels. We also had a lot of community sensitization, community dialogue at the grassroots level. We met artisans, we meet geologists, we meet CDCs and all that. So the information communication it cuts across all levels, not just Twitter at all.
And when you pass this information, do people give you feedback like, yes, we know
Yes,
this?
of course, people give feedback.
Okay. So, I mean, if you look at the front pages, you see that Lagos State quarantines 4 siblings, 2 others. That's one of the latest we have, and most of them children. And I was speaking to a school owner recently, I mean, that owns school for children, and she was saying that it's kind of tricky for them as school owners. They're not entirely sure how to deal with this. In fact, she was talking about trying to get infrared thermometers, and she says it's really expensive, and she was trying to reach out to the Ministry of Health. So what kind of interface are you having with schools, understanding that there will be a lot of children who will definitely touch their faces, interact with themselves. So what kind of interface are you having with them? What are you advising them to do?
First of all, before the advice, there are 4 levels of transmission. We have countries with no cases. We have countries with sporadic cases, like 1 or 2 cases here and there. And we have countries with a cluster of cases. And also countries with community transmission and plenty cases. Nigeria falls into the second category, that is sporadic cases, one or 2 cases here and there. So because of that, we are not at community transmission, so there's no need to panic, there's no need to fear. So we are not afraid that when children go to school, they might have the virus, because no, they won't have the virus. At least we pray we don't get to that level yet, because the 2 cases that we are all aware that we have are in isolation at the infectious disease laboratory. Now, what we advise school owners to do is they can get the infrared thermometer. And that's why I said earlier on that it's a multi-sectoral collaboration. People who sell infrared thermometers should know they shouldn't jack up the prices of this equipment. People who sell hand sanitizer shouldn't sell them at exorbitant prices, because we're all in this together. Yes, we're all in this together. It is not a one-man approach. It's not only the health workers that are at risk here. Everybody's at risk. So if the school owners can get, before then, the government has met with proprietors and proprietaresses of school owners to advise them. We've had series of trainings with almost all sorts of the sectors. And then the advice we give to the school owners is that they should screen as much as possible. They should screen. The method we are adopting is screen, identify, and isolate, and then notify. So they can get infrared thermometers, screen children as they come into schools.
All right.
They wash their hands. They also use hand sanitizer when they cannot get
We also
water
hope
and
the
soap.
LSMOH and the authorities will do something rather than just beckon on those people not to jack up prices. Because if they stop at that, they will jack up prices. So they need to really go in there and see what they can do. All right, Dr. Japhet Tolugbegi, public health physician, also chairs the COVID-19 of the NMA. Thank you for your thoughts and all the best. We're back in a moment. Stay with us.